witness a lot of, and it's a real difficulty for some people because every day, or certainly almost every day, because I speak with a lot of creative Christians and kind of aspirational men and women of God who really believe that they've got a message and something to bring to the world. But I find often that there is that they still, even though they're talented, even though they have just so much to bring to the world, and even though in many respects people would look at them and say that they were certainly very successful people, they still struggle with their sense of purpose. It's like they're still groping to discover their big purpose in life, what I call a big, hairy, audacious purpose. Some of you may have heard of big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAGs. Well, I believe in BHAPs, okay? Big, hairy, audacious, God-sized purposes that really kind of bring our value and the weight and the gravity of who we are to what we do. And, oftentimes I find that the disconnect is between what someone believes that they are on the inside, that kind of inner knowing that, man, I'm called to be and become something more. That it's almost like there is a call outside of themselves, or even a call and a yearning inside to become and be something more in life. But then somehow the disconnect is between who they know they are on the inside and what they do, like mostly every day. Okay, so kind of their everyday activities don't line up with who they believe they are on the inside. And I think really in that statement is really the secret. It's not really such a big secret, really. To discovering our purpose is this disconnect between the who and the do. The who we are and the what we do every day. I have honestly lost count of the number of people who've said to me, I want to write a book, or I believe God has told me to write a book, or whatever else it may be. It could be some other activity. But then obviously that begs the question, well, are you writing? If you want to be a writer, write. If you want to be a teacher, teach. If you want to be, whatever it is you aspire to, whatever it is you believe God has called you to be on the inside, there is a journey of faith to becoming that person. And that journey of faith, I think, can be likened to the story of Abram. I love the story of Abraham. And, God came to Abram and said to him, get out of your country, from your kindred, from your father's house, into a land that I will show you, and there I will make of you a great nation. I'll bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. All of those BHAP promises, the big, hairy, audacious purpose was right there in the promise of God. But there was this kind of uncomfortable condition that Abram had to step away from what he knew. Abram had to take a step of faith away from what he was comfortable with. Abraham had to step away maybe from what he was even satisfied with in the natural to actually explore and head into step into his supernatural purpose. And the interesting thing is that God did not tell Abram all of the details. God did not say to him, okay, Abram, I'm going to sit you down and we're going to map this whole thing out, and I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you, where you're going to go. He didn't really give him anything other than this very clear direction, but very vague in some ways, and this huge promise as to, look, if you will believe me, if you'll trust me, if you'll step out on this sense of destiny, this sense of purpose, then I will bless you and you'll see incredible results far beyond anything that you could manufacture yourself, and certainly beyond what you could produce if you remain where you are. And Abram had to step out and take that first step. There had to come a point that, the guy had to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to leave some things behind and I'm going to pick up this promise and I'm going to start walking. And he may have done really much to the shock and possible dismay of his wife, potentially some of his associates, his friends, or whatever else it may be. Sometimes we can be fearful to step out and step into this journey of becoming because we're concerned what other people will think or what other people will say. But, the blessing followed him stepping out in obedience. And I believe it's the same for us. It took a great deal of faith for him to step into the unknown and with really only a word to walk on. And for us, it's the same. And I think that we discover our land of flow when we go. I know it's kind of a nice little coin statement, but really, if you want to discover your flow, if you want to discover that place of where you are comfortable in your own skin, comfortable in how you're turning up for the world, that kind of flow is going to happen, okay, as you begin to step out. If you want to be a writer, you need to be writing. If you want to build an online presence or build an online business, you need to actually start kind of posting things online, building things online, learning the necessary skills. It's just so important that we step out, potentially before we even feel ready, okay? Potentially before we've got the details, before we've got the certainties, before we've got the guarantees, because the truth is the creative life is not one that comes with kind of like these nice guarantees. It doesn't come with a bow on it. We have these questions, can I be more? Can I really make a difference? Would people really care what I've got to say? Will I be received? Can I make money doing this? Will it sell? Can I actually make really great money and still live within the bounds of my values and my standards? All of these questions are ones that can sometimes hinder our steps and kind of we want to back away because we don't have the answers for them. All we have are lots of uncertainties. I am certain that Abram felt exactly that way when he had this promise and was told, if you, Abram, will choose to step out on this word, if you'll give yourself to this obedient walk to a place that I will show you. Look, it was almost like God said, look, I want you to pack up and start walking, and I'm going to show you where we're going once we get there. It was a big ask, but it also came with a big result, a big promise, a big payoff. And I think the same for us. God has so much for us, but it is born and lived out in faith. Faith is the thing that produces results. Faith is the substance of things we hope for. And as creatives, as writers, as coaches, as teachers, trainers, whatever kind of title or kind of tag you may want to give yourself, when we're out there in the space of helping people, building people, growing people, looking to build online businesses that offer value to the world out there, whether it's the books that you write, courses that you want to create, email lists that you want to build and serve, etc. All of that is going to take faith. And it's not like we come necessarily with a kind of clear commodity. We don't come like we're just a bag full of victuals, like just the weekly shop. We're actually going out to people selling what the scriptures call good news. Yeah, we want to bring a message. We want to bring something to empower, something to uplift, something to engage, something to call out the big, great, awesome person on the inside. That's what we want to do, and that's not something that's got the same definition as like, look, I need a can of beans for my beans on toast this afternoon. And I can sell that can of beans to you if you need beans as well. It's like, seriously, we come with something far deeper, in some ways far more substantial, but it does take faith for us to step out and begin to do it. And the thing is, this is really what I want to bring to you today, that the clarity will grow as you go. Your clarity of purpose, your clarity of person, the clarity around your call and who you are and what you're called to be and how you're supposed to turn up in the world will become clearer and clearer with every step of faith that you take, moving towards what you believe God has planted on the inside of your heart. And this is the thing, again, there can be no guarantees, but it's the only way that we actually discover, we have these questions, like I say, will it work, won't it work, etc. Well, the truth is, and the sales pages and or whatever else it may be that, that you read or hear often don't really kind of trumpet the fact. They may have a guarantee on the page and all sorts of all that jazz, but the truth is, man, you will not know if it works until you do it. You will not know if it will work until you do it. You will not know if it will sell until you sell it. You will not know if it will reach until you reach out. And so I encourage you, like Abram, okay? Abram is called the friend of God. He's called the father of faith in the scriptures. And I don't know about you. I mean, even this morning, And like last week, I was talking with the Holy Ghost, and I was talking about Lord, I'm doing this and I'm doing the other, and should I do this or shouldn't I do that? And he stopped me in my tracks and he said, son, I don't want to talk about business. I don't want to talk about work. I want to talk about you. He wants to be first our friend, okay? First our friend. The God is first your friend, and then in that friendship and out of that trust, that ground of trust, that foundation of living, breathing relationship and conversation, it gets easier and easier to then step out when he comes and says, David, Margaret, Janet, George, whatever your name be, go. Step out. Here's an idea. Let's work it together. And we step out without the guarantee. We step out on the promise without knowing the details. We just begin to move, and in it, we learn and we grow. Sometimes we learn what we don't want to do by doing things. We're like, I tried that. That doesn't really fit for me. And so, but in it, God is developing the person, the man or the woman on the inside. And with every step, you get closer and closer to the promised land, that you would be blessed and that you would be a blessing wherever you go. And so I just want to encourage you today, don't be discouraged. God is faithful to his promise, faithful to you, faithful to your future. And even if, and Lana and I have got the bruises to show for it, even if seeming failures, okay? Even seeming failures along the way will not kill you. We're still here, man, living and breathing and preaching and loving God, loving people, and seeking again to just get out and put our value out where it belongs, in other people's hands. So, hey, God bless you. Really, really just want to just release some enthusiastic faith into your heart today, and just say, hey, it's a brand new day today. You know, even doesn't matter if you face some disappointments, doesn't matter if you stepped out before and got a punch in the nose, you know, by life. You know, today is a new day. We can dust down, we can step out again, and we can begin to believe in this wonderful, awesome promise that God has given us. As we go, He will show us the way. As we go, He'll lead us into who we are, our how, okay, and our who will become closer and closer together. And that conflict on the inside, that despite my successes, despite all of the good things around my life, I still feel empty of purpose on the inside. That will begin to dissipate because there's a dovetailing of the who and the do as we go. So bless you today in the name of Jesus.